Well, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Valma. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Valerie. And I think it's good morning to you.
It is. So good afternoon to our international folks and good morning to those of you in the US. My name is Valarie Geckler. I am Vice President of Client Services at Stirista. We're a data and identity driven marketing technology and solutions company. And while my title is client services, I am on the marketing side because I'm advising my clients all the time on strategies and outcomes. So that's a little bit about me, but I'm excited to talk to you, Valma. So would you kick us off by telling us a little bit about you and maybe your career journey up until this point?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thank you again for having me. Super excited to be here today. So I'm Valma Tikkakoski. Almost, I know, I get it. It's a difficult surname, but originally from Finland. That is the surname, Finnish. Yeah, I'm currently the director of marketing at MoonPay. And I think my career journey started in the UK, where I moved for my studies. So I did my undergrad and master's in London, and I think I'm one of the rare people who actually studied in the UK and actually is working within the field that they studied. So I studied management with marketing in my undergrad and international marketing for my master's degree. And it's actually interesting because, I fell in love with marketing when I was studying it in my undergrad. And, a lot of the case studies we were doing were all around, fast moving consumer goods. And I always thought I want to work in fashion and, cosmetics and skincare. And I actually did one of my first internships for a Finnish skincare and cosmetics company called Lumene. Um, so yeah, I was very set on that direction. But then very randomly during my master's, I needed a bit of extra money and I got introduced to this guy called Richard Muirhead. And he was running kind of a venture platform called Fireside at the time. And I did an internship for him, and Firestarter was investing in very early stage, tech companies. So that was my introduction to the world of tech, and I never looked back since. So from like during my master's, I was doing my internship, and then I actually went to work for one of these portfolio companies of Firestarter, and it was called Yo-Yo Wallet, and that was my introduction to like the payments and fintech space in particular. So Yo-Yo Wallet is a payments and loyalty app, and I joined there as a marketing and comms manager, and I was doing everything from comms, and then launching at new sites. So we were going after universities and corporate catering sites where people would pay and check out with Yo-Yo Wallet. And yeah, that was kind of my first introduction to the fintech and payment space, and I absolutely loved it. And from there, I did a stint at an IT company, which was also based in London, and that was yeah, marketing and campaigns. So I started focusing more on campaigns and using HubSpot as a marketing automation tool. And then from there, I then got approached by Ravelin. I was really missing working in IT technology, but I was really missing that startup vibe. I was missing, the payment space. And I got approached by Ravelin, which is a online payment fraud detection and prevention company for online merchants. So for example, I don't know if you know the likes of Deliveroo, Ravelin is the fraud tool for that company and many others. So I joined them so quite early on, right? So I think I was employee number maybe 25. Yeah, and I was there. I was there for 3 years in the end, and within that time it grew to I think 120 people, which is very different to the growth we're experiencing now, which I can elaborate a bit more on. But yeah, I joined them as the head of campaigns, and then within 3 months I became the head of marketing ops, and I was building a team. I built a team of over 6 people, and just putting processes into place, building a team and really building this demand generation engine, which actually led me to MoonPay. So after 3 years, when I didn't really have anywhere to grow at Ravelin, Ivan, who's the CEO and co-founder of MoonPay, reached out to me on LinkedIn, and MoonPay was looking for their first marketing hire. And MoonPay had found out about me or approached me because MoonPay was assessing Ravelin as a fraud tool for MoonPay. So they'd come through my demand gen engine and came through as an inbound lead, and yeah, so I think they liked what they saw, what I'd done at Ravelin, and they approached me to join MoonPay as the first marketing hire. And 1 year later, here I am.
Very cool. Now, I think you teed it up a little bit, but what MoonPay is doing is also really interesting. So I know we're going to talk a little bit about crypto, but we could have a whole webinar just talking about crypto. So you don't have to go into incredible detail, but give us an understanding of what MoonPay does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the MoonPay's mission is to bring the next billion people into the crypto economy. And how do we do that? We do that by making crypto and NFTs easy. So actually, Jimmy Fallon mentioned MoonPay on the Tonight Show a couple of months ago, and he said MoonPay is like PayPal but for crypto. So that's exactly it, right? We're an infrastructure layer at the moment, so we're a super easy plug and play solution for brands, crypto companies, marketplaces, creators to integrate MoonPay's plug and play widget into their existing platform, app or website, right? So MoonPay has built the building blocks for tomorrow's crypto economy, and it's the easiest way for the end users of these of the companies or the brands, for their end users, to buy and sell crypto and NFTs. So within that stack, this integration that they do with MoonPay's widget, they get the KYC and onboarding, they get the regulatory and compliance, because MoonPay has that all sorted, right? The fiat rails, the fraud prevention, the crypto brokerage and custody. So yeah, that's it in the nutshell. That's what MoonPay is in a nutshell. But a big focus for us has been and is NFTs. So we believe that NFTs, so non-fungible tokens, have really made crypto more culturally relevant, right? Hence, maybe, as I mentioned, Jimmy Fallon, but we've been really focused on the creator economy, because we think that's where the world is heading. Web3, a lot of these creators creators and brands want to bring their IP to the masses, and to their fans and to their communities, right? So that's been a big focus for us. So yeah, we've been helping a lot of high profile individuals. I mentioned Jimmy Fallon. Paris Hilton was actually yesterday on the Tonight Show as well, and she was also telling how she just bought an NFT through MoonPay. Post Malone, Eva Longoria, for some of these high profile individuals, we've helped them to enter that crypto economy, right? So in some cases, we're the first touch point for them to acquire crypto or NFTs. So yeah, and I think just to round it up, MoonPay was founded in 2019, so we're a pretty young company, but we were bootstrapped until we raised our Series A in December. We raised a historical Series A, a 555 million Series A at a 3.44 billion valuation. So that's been our journey so far.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the other thing you said that I can't pass up is you've got these really cool celebrity shout outs. So you mentioned Jimmy Fallon, you mentioned Paris Hilton, Eva Longoria. So as marketers, I think those are mentions that some of us would kill to have. Are those things that happened organically? Are those things that you have sought out some of those celebrity, for lack of a better word, endorsements? And also, when you get them, how do you capitalize on them?
Yeah, no, great question. So in all honesty, everything, happened pretty naturally and organically. There was clearly a gap in the market, right? As I said, MoonPay is making crypto and NFTs easy, but buying NFTs, you know, it hasn't been seamless. It hasn't been easy. So MoonPay wanted to offer these high net worth or high profile individuals a hassle-free way to purchase NFTs and crypto. So we kind of quietly set up this service called MoonPay Concierge, which we weren't promoting, but there was such a big influx of these high profile individuals who wanted to join the world of crypto and NFTs, right? So in that sense, it came really, really naturally. NFTs are, they're the new Rolexes, right? A lot of these individuals want to show off their NFT, or at the moment, a lot of them are obviously changing their profile pictures to an NFT. So yeah, so we just filled that gap in the market. And obviously we are creating these initial, when they first acquire that NFT via MoonPay, we are creating them into marketing moments. And we want to have longevity around it, right? And as I mentioned earlier, a big focus for us is the creator economy. And that's where we see, well, that's where the industry is heading, right? So, bringing these celebrities into crypto is just the starting point. At some point, they will be, whether it's having their own avatars, or whether they're going to be doing NFT album drops, or NFT, collections, or, concerts in the metaverse, MoonPay will be there. So that's
it sounds like it's one of those probably, even at the basics of marketing, you talked about when you were in school, that product comes first, right? So you were providing a service, you were filling a gap in the market where people, and that's what draw people to you. And then you just get the shout out because you're providing a really awesome product. So I think that shows that relationship between what you're marketing and how you market, and you can't really separate the two.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously some of these NFTs that the high net worth individuals want are like, out of the normal person's budget, right? But MoonPay has also launched a solution, an NFT checkout, where users can buy NFTs directly via credit or debit card, right? So at the moment, if you want to buy an NFT, you first need to acquire crypto, and it's a whole process. So we're really trying to simplify it for everyone, not only for celebrities, just for the average Joe, right? If you want to buy an NFT, you can buy it directly with your credit or debit card. You don't actually have to own Ethereum to be able to buy it.
Yeah, that's really cool. You said something else that I think is really interesting, which is, you're in this organization that had an amazing Series A and had an amazing valuation for being, like you said, a young company, and you were the first marketing hire. So
Yeah.
what was that like? How have things progressed from day one to now? I assume you're building out a team. What were the things you focused on in the beginning versus things that you're able to focus on now?
Oh, great question. Yeah. So when I joined MoonPay, I think I was within the first 50 people. So it's actually been interesting because, yes, I was the first marketing hire. I joined a year ago, but as I mentioned, the company was profitable before there was even a marketing team. So I took a huge risk in the sense that, well, I didn't think of it as a risk at all. But when I joined MoonPay, there was a Twitter handle, there was a LinkedIn page, and 2 blog posts, and no team. And I was super passionate about and I was super passionate about the company and the industry. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Definitely want to join this. And I've been joining early stage startups before, and I knew that's where I thrive, and setting up processes and building teams. But yeah, so it was setting up a function from scratch, and I just wanted to ensure I had buy-in from the whole company, right? Because as I said, it was profitable before a marketing team. So just really ensuring that how marketing is generating to the growth. So I set up monthly office hours where employees could join and kind of tune in, ask any questions, and I'd go over kind of what's the marketing strategy, what have we done this past month, what were the results, and what's the focus for the next month. And same with a monthly marketing report, just to get everyone's buy-in. So that was great. Not that it was ever an issue, but I just wanted to over communicate to the entire company. And then during that time, also hiring, right? And it's been a challenge, really, finding those people who are superstars and also crypto natives. We've been building a team. It's fantastic. We're now at around, oh my gosh, are we 10 or 12 people now? And yeah, we're still hiring like crazy. So definitely go check out the MoonPay careers page. So we've now rebranded ourselves into kind of the growth and marketing team. So we have a more traditional marketing side within the growth marketing function, as well as a very growth marketing focused function. So yeah, it's been crazy. And obviously, since we've grown so much and hired more people, obviously can focus on more focus on more things, right? Because it was scrappy at the beginning. Everyone was stretched. There was so much happening with this crazy growth we went through. So really been building a team and really been trying to hire specialists, so everyone can really focus on their own strengths and domains.
Yeah. I think what you were saying about so at Stirista, I originated the client services department. And like you're saying, obviously clients were being served prior to me being there, but coming in and establishing something that's new, I love the approach you took to make sure you got buy-in, because generally speaking, everybody knows or might have expectations in their own head about what a new head of marketing would be covering. But if you don't have that buy-in throughout your organization, you're going to hit roadblocks or have misaligned expectations and things like that. So I think that was a really smart component for when you first came in.
Yeah, no, it worked well. So yeah.
Good. So, okay, you said you were hired 2019?
No, sorry. So I joined a year ago, so 2021. But the company was founded in 2019. Yeah, so
that's right.
Thank you. Yeah, so company was founded in 2019. I joined. It feels wild that now it's 2022, but yeah, I joined beginning of 2021. So I've been at MoonPay for a year now.
Okay, so that's smack in the middle of this crazy pandemic that we have going on that we're all dealing with, and you've seen this explosion of growth in that time. So I want to ask a general question about how has the pandemic impacted you, because I think that's relatable to all of us, but I feel like you might even have an interesting twist on it. So what has that been like, both for MoonPay and also for you managing and leading a team?
Yeah, so as said, I joined MoonPay right in the middle of a pandemic. So an interesting fact about MoonPay is that MoonPay is fully remote. So we don't actually have offices anywhere. So I made a conscious decision that I was joining a fully remote company, but I was already used to that, right? Because it was 1 year into the pandemic. Everyone was working from home at Ravelin as well. But, we did have a London office at Ravelin, and, everyone was on the same time zone. So it was a completely different scenario than joining MoonPay, where it was fully remote. So they've been fully remote since like pre-pandemic as well, right? So since 2019. But yeah, it's so hence I got already used to it. So it hasn't really affected me. Obviously, it has its own challenges having a fully remote team, right? Working on different time zones, but I don't think that actually has anything to do with the pandemic as such, right? That's just the nature of our business. But it's fantastic because we can attract the best talent in the world, right? They don't have to be based in UK or in the US. So that's great. But yeah, it's challenging, right? Especially for a fully remote company, you still need to have those face-to-face interactions, and we're very keen, and as a company culture, right, we want to do quarterly team offsites and company-wide kickoffs and events, but it's just been impossible this last year with COVID and restrictions changing constantly. I've been really lucky to be able to meet some team members at events and conferences and whatnot, and so it is important, and I think it is clear that I prefer working remotely. I really do, but sometimes having that face-to-face time, even if it's once a quarter, is super valuable for also for team culture, right? So yeah, so that's that. And as an industry, right, well, 2021 was, crypto reached all-time highs. The volume of crypto transactions grew to almost 16 trillion, which was, I think, up almost 600% from the year before. And NFTs in particular, like 2021 was really the year that NFTs became more mainstream and came on people's radars, right? So I think NFT trading volume was also 23 billion last year. So from an industry point of view, the pandemic did not slow down overall.
Definitely that digital first. I mean, it is the digital space. So, not bogged down by lockdowns and things like that is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious. So, right, this is a new, I mean, if we went back, I don't know how many number of years, but we could go back not that far in history, and this product doesn't exist. So do you feel to some degree that when you're marketing, you're blazing a trail, or do you find that, no, I fall back on principles of marketing, I'm just applying them to a new thing?
Yeah, I must say, coming from, I thought working for a, fintech payments company was fast paced, but crypto is a completely different world, right? So I do, obviously there's the standard principles of marketing that are getting applied now as well within MoonPay. But I think it's just, it's just a different type of marketing, right? It's very community led. And even us, when we're a B2C company essentially, right? But there's still fans, there's still a community, right? And I think that's where it's very different to, for example, it's even more kind of community led, I feel, and everything's heading towards Web3, so it just prevails in everything that we do.
So you talked about coming up in tech. I also, my marketing background, I've marketed for a lot of tech companies, and there's definitely been times in my career where I have been the only woman in the room. There have been a lot of instances where I've been the only woman in the room. And so I'm curious, you came up, you're not only a woman in marketing, honoring the theme of today's event, but also have been a woman in tech and now a woman in crypto. So just, what are your thoughts on that? Either a woman in marketing or a woman in crypto, whatever is kind of speaking to you this morning, but I feel like you have a really unique perspective.
Yeah. Well, I obviously I can relate. Yeah. I think in especially around marketing, there are more women in marketing in general. Females are associated with marketing roles, but I don't see that in crypto. Even in fintech, I think I still saw that to some extent, and tech companies, not all of them, but crypto, I wouldn't say so. Yeah, it's a very male dominated industry, even more so than just tech, right? But I think in general, men are just more interested in cryptography and investing, and have a higher risk appetite. So I think they jumped on the crypto train a lot earlier than
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women. And I think there's a stat that twice as many men as women invest in cryptocurrency. So yeah, it's natural that also reflects in the workforce, right? It is a very male dominated industry, but I do think it is changing. And I think especially, what I said with MoonPay, right? We're trying to bring the next billion people into the crypto economy, and we're working with a lot of these high profile individuals and also female celebrities, and getting their buy-in and them spreading the word, and trying to do more kind of marketing campaigns that also resonate with women, right? To get them involved in the whole world of Web3 and crypto. So it's interesting, but I do find that the women who are in crypto are super supportive of each other. It's a fairly new thing, right? And everyone's here learning, everyone's helping each other out, and it is, as I said, crypto is very community driven, whether you trade or you invest or whatever you do, or whether you work within crypto. So that's been lovely to see as well. And I think women are supported, and I do think that the industry as a whole want to bring more women into crypto. So I think that's been great to see and to be part of.
Is there anything you mentioned Web 3.0? Are there anything in the marketing world that is coming up, like trends you think we're going to see more of, either in your industry or just marketing in general?
Oh, good question. Well, yeah, as I said, more and more kind of community driven, experiential. I see a lot of companies are starting to explore their kind of Web3 and strategy, the metaverse. So I do think that's where the industry is heading. Well, the whole world is heading, actually. And I think also, it's all around experiences, and I think, yeah, I think that's a big trend that I'm seeing. I think face-to-face events are making a huge comeback. People are missed that because of the pandemic, and within these at these physical events, it's all going to be around experiences, experiential marketing, and really blending the digital and physical. So that's where I see, those are the trends that I'm seeing, and where the world of marketing is heading.
I'm curious about the flip side. So maybe anything you wish would go away, or anything that has gone away that we're like, oh, thank goodness.
Oh, what am I glad that has gone away? I haven't thought about this for a while.
Well, like I think, because you're digital first, I don't want to not print, but one of the things I love, because I came up through digital as well, is just like the measurability and the attribution that comes from so much digital activity. And I assume that a lot of your marketing is heavy on the digital side.
Yeah, very much so. And we're very data driven, and that's how we make, or try to make, most of our decisions, right? And measure success. So yeah, we're very digital first. So yeah.
Thinking about what you were saying about and they might be two different answers. I think you've had a really cool career path for somebody who's maybe younger, about to enter marketing, or they're wrapping up their degree. I wonder if you might have any advice for them. And then even for somebody who's interested in crypto, or seeing, hey, I see this huge opportunity in industry that has a ton of growth. Maybe there's great career growth for me there. What are things you would want somebody who's early in their professional marketing career to know about?
Yeah, no, great question. So I think it's just taking risk, right? So, like, from speaking from experience, I've joined so many early-ish stage startups, and that's what's led me here. I've always been taking risks, and you don't have to figure out everything instantly, right? Marketing is constantly evolving, and it's such a broad remit, and you can't master everything in marketing. So I think it's super important that dabbling across, testing out different areas within marketing, really seeing where what you enjoy and also what you're good at, and then really focusing on that, right? And as I said, even at MoonPay at the moment, we're really hiring specialists. So I would recommend kind of going down that route. And yeah, as I said, you can change your career, you can change your discipline, like, further down the line. You don't need to master everything. I think it's just being curious, wanting to learn, taking risks. And at MoonPay, for example, one of our core values as a company is Kaizen, which means continuous improvement. So there's a stat that 1% improvement each day amounts to, I think, 3,700% over the course of 1 year. So just focusing on those small continuous improvements. So that's kind of, I think, the biggest advice. But yeah, entering the world of crypto, again, that goes back to just learn, educate yourself. It is complex, but there's a lot of resources online. Having that kind of basic knowledge is a good starting point. Trust me, like, 1 year in crypto is like 10 years at within another industry. So the learning curve is super high. And I think, especially early on in someone's career, it's not expected that they're a crypto native. But I would really highly recommend for marketeers who are early in their career journey to really start exploring, Web3 companies and career opportunities, because that's where the world is heading.
Mm-hmm. I love what you said about continuous improvement. That's one of my personal core values is to just always seek to be better.
Yeah.
And I love that stat, the up to 3,700%. I could see, maybe when I was younger and I was, earlier in my career and figuring things out, seeking big changes, right? Like, you have to come in, if somebody was in your situation establishing a marketing department, I have to come in and make giant sweeping changes or people aren't going to think I'm effective. But so often it's, I wouldn't want someone to overlook those little wins, because those all add up.
They do. Yeah. Kaizen, it's a good value to follow or live by.
Do you know that word sounds, is that from another language other than English?
It is. Is it Japanese? I think.
I'm just googling it. But that's all right.
I think it is Japanese, but let me just check.
We can Google it later, and
we can
and send out a link.
Well, Kai means change and Zen means for the better, but I assume it's
Very
Japanese,
cool.
somewhere from Asia. They know
Very
their
cool.
Zens.
Very cool. And as you were making these changes throughout your career, I love the idea of I'm imagining, someone earlier in their career listening to this and maybe being nervous about taking those kinds of big risks. Were you ever nervous about one of the jumps you made? And if so, how did you overcome it? Or if you weren't nervous, just what creates that in you?
That's so funny. I actually don't know. So when I joined my first startup almost 10 years ago, or over 10 years ago, it was, yeah, my father almost had a heart attack, right? So my father is this corporate guy, went up the corporate ladder, and he almost had a heart attack when I told him, hey, I'm joining a startup. And he was like, no, don't do it. And I still did it. Maybe I was just rebelling and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. But no, I always kind of had that passion. I've always been, I love people. I like being in environments where, decisions are made fast and, you don't have to go through a million processes. So I wanted, I tried to surround myself with people like that and companies like that. So yeah, soon after, my father understood startups and started making some very tiny investments into startups himself. He still had a heart attack when I told him that I'm going to join a crypto company. He's now, yeah, I think now he gets it, but yeah. But yeah, so was I nervous? Yeah, to some extent. I had a lot of pushback from family and friends, especially when I was joining crypto. But I think the people who are not educated enough to understand about Web3 and the opportunities that lie there, they had a lot of pushback. But I do really think, as we discussed, like 2021 was really the year when crypto and NFTs went mainstream. So I think it's really changed the way people think about the industry as a whole, and really see the opportunity and the value and the greatness there. But yeah, I just pushed through it. I always trusted my gut.
Well, I love my parents, but your dad has a leg up on my parents, because I'm pretty sure if I was going to a crypto or an NFT company, they would not know what that is. So your dad is, I think, ahead of the curve. You've taught him well.
Yeah, now he should be. But when I first joined, oh gosh.
You had to put those marketing skills to use.
Yeah.
Had to come up with good messaging.
Exactly.
What, I always think it's interesting. You've talked about, the ebb and flow. We talked a little bit about, some of the risks that come with trying something new. It could be now at MoonPay, or it could be any other time in your career. But what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced, and how did you tackle them?
Great question. So I think now at MoonPay, I can speak about, a challenge. And I think I mentioned it earlier, and it's hiring has been a big challenge. It's not that, we're not attracting great candidates, but we're being very, very, critical, as we should be. Like after our, Series A, and, we're now a $3.4 billion company, right? So we need to hire the best of the best. So we have this, a bit of a mentality, like if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And it's been tough to hire. And I think especially, crypto, for some people, if you're not passionate about Web3 and crypto, it probably isn't a great fit, especially for more senior roles. But it is still a bit of an unknown. And I think now, after our funding round and all of these celebrity all of these celebrity partnerships that we're doing, our name is a lot more known, and we have so many people applying. But hiring has been challenging, and I think that's affected me in terms of, you know, being just stretched and just, which yeah, isn't great, and not being able to switch off. But that's also because I'm so passionate about the company and what I'm doing and what we're building, and there's so many amazing projects that I'm currently working on. So it's been really challenging for me to switch off. So I think I set some boundaries. You know, I was very much in a yes mode most of last year, which was great, and I was loving it, but I knew that it wasn't sustainable to do that forever. So I went on holiday in December, and my phone broke on day 2 of my holiday, and then I decided when I got my new phone that I'm not actually going to install my work email and Slack on my phone. And that's been a game changer. I'm going to reinstall it, but just to kind of get used to of being able to switch off. Like if it's urgent, you know, they have my number, they can call me, they can WhatsApp me. So it's not that I'm not available, but just being able to switch off a bit. I think that's crucial, and it's important, right? To be, you know, to do a good job and to manage a team, you need to feel rested and recovered as well, and switch off. But yeah, hiring has been a bit of a challenge. We're getting great candidates, but it's just maybe taken, you know, a bit longer, and we're building out a top-notch team. So, you know, I'm super excited, but it's taken time. And yeah, and obviously when we have that team in place, you know, I hopefully won't be as stretched. I'm already a lot less stretched than I was obviously when I first joined, and was the only pretty much the only person there, and you know, doing a lot of wearing many hats. So I would say that's probably been, you know, the biggest challenge at MoonPay, or at currently in my life with MoonPay.